Good morning, everyone. Wayne Bolden here at the Speed King channel. My question to you is, why does Zandon deserve a very strong look in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic? We're going to discuss that for sure. But before we get going, as always, I ask that you turn your closed captions on. And of course, tip sheets will be available for both Friday, Future Star Friday, Breeders' Cup, and of course Championship Saturday. Email us at speedking24@yahoo.com. $20 each day. Great way to support us. Well, I wanted to pose a question. Of course, I'm a big Zandon fan. You see me with my shirt on. Always have been. Let's discuss and spotlight Mr. Zandon. Why does he deserve a big look in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic? Okay, it is a discussion I want to have with our community here, a healthy, classy discussion. Well, Zandon has 13 starts in his career, 3 wins, 6 seconds, and 3 thirds. That's 12 times in the money, first, second, and third, in 13 starts. So he's tried, he's true, and he's been tested. He's by upstart on the back end by creative calls, trained by Chad Brown, who worked for my boy, Bobby Franco. Well, when we dive into Zandon, this 4-year-old, he doesn't need to apologize. Let's agree or disagree as you may on this. As a 3-year-old in 2022, can we not argue that he ran against the best 3-year-olds in the country? Secondly, can we not argue that the 3-year-old crop, the Derby Trail crop in 2022, is light years ahead of the crop of 2023 3-year-olds? I can. Let's look at some of the 3-year-olds that Zandon ran against. Epicenter, world-class horse. Tabor, your PA Derby, winner. Messier, White Burial, who may be the favorite in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. Modongo, Small Happy, Cyberknife, Charge It. So he's tried, true, and tested, and never disgraced, and always gave a great account and shows up. 12 times in the money from 13 starts. 9 of those 13 starts was as a 3-year-old. 4 of them now as a 4-year-old. As he comes into his own. He has beaten White Burial, no doubt, in the Kentucky Derby. Now, granted, it was a weird Kentucky Derby because it was Richie Strike. A little respect on Sonny Leone and Richie Strike. But no one seen that coming. Epicenter ran second and Zandon ran third. White Burial couldn't be found with a search warrant that day. He ran 15 at 15-1. Here's another small fact about Zandon. In 13 starts, this horse has never went to the gate more than 7-1. And we may be looking at 15-1 or better in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. He also beat White Burial, the potential favorite in this year's Classic, in the PA Derby, where Tabor won the race. Zandon ran second and White Burial ran third. Okay, and by the way, Zandon was the favorite. He was second choice behind Tabor, who was even money. So again, he's run with the best 3-year-olds last year in the country, who's better than any 3-year-olds this year. He's true, he's tried, he's tested. He's already beat the potential favorite in this race, White Burial. Okay. Secondly, White Burial did beat him in the Cigar Mile, right? Zandon was wide that day. So again, when you look at his body of work, Zandon has never done anything wrong. Always give a good account, always show up, always dance every dance, and has hit the board 12 of 13 starts and has never been more than 7-1, and that's going to change on Breeders' Cup Classic Day. He's going to be bigger. That's tremendous value for a horse with such great body of work. And some can argue the 6 seconds that he had, 3 of them he could have probably won. He ran against the best of the best. Furthermore, after December 5th or December 3rd, the cigar race last year, they turned him out, which was his last race, as a 3-year-old in December. They didn't bring him back until May. If you look at the 4 races that he came back in May 5th in the Westchester Mile, where he ran second, it was a mile race. Then they took him to the Metropolitan, which was a mile race, and got beat by, some will argue, the best horse in training, Cody's Wish, and he ran second that day. Okay? Then they take him to the Whitney, of course, where White Burial won at 10-1. Zandon was 4-1. He was wide in that race for sure. And Cody Wish, who was 40 cents to the dollar in the Whitney, just didn't run that day. So that race is a little questionable, because I don't know if Zandon or White Burial should have beat Cody's Wish that day. Okay? And White Burial won it, ran the biggest race of his life that day at 10-1. Zandon was 4-1, and of course, Cody's Wish was 40 cents to the dollar. That was in August. They bring Zandon back October 1st in the Woodward, where he won the race. Now, that's the best race speed figure wise as he of his career, all 13 starts, as he moves into the Breeders' Cup Classic. Coming in off of a great prep race on October 1st, got 4 weeks of rest, trained by Chad Brown. I will argue and contend to you that Zandon deserves a strong and long look this year in the Breeders' Cup. Tried, true, and tested. Dance every dance, has hit the board 12 or 13 times, has never been less than 7-1 in any of the races, ran against the best 3-year-old crop in 2022 that anyone could imagine, surely better than any of the 3-year-olds in 2023. Not sure why he has to apologize to a 3-year-old like Archangelo or Arabian Night, and of course the 3-year-old that I'm a big fan of, Pinot, which is Go Rocket Ride. I don't know if any of them are Taba or Epicenter or Mondongo. I don't know that. But he's already did that as a 3-year-old. So you're going to tell me that he's not good or just as good as the current 3-year-olds? And he's a 4-year-old, having already tangled with the best 3-year-old. I think we can make a strong and long case this year for Zandon to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, he's not my pick yet. I don't know the post position. I don't know if he's going to get in. I don't know the odds. We're just going to have a healthy discussion about this. Let me ask you this. Do you think he deserves a square price? Do you think that he has a chance? If there's one negative going into the Breeders' Cup Classic for Zandon, because there is no other negatives, okay? The connections, the way that he ran in the past, having hit the board, right? Coming into the race, right? His speed figures, his pace figures may be a little off relative to these. The only negative that I would have is that he's going to be running across a speed favoring track over there at the great race place, Santa Anita, in Arcadia, California. Now, y'all know I'm from Monmouth Park. It's a conveyor belt. Well, if you think Monmouth Park is a speed bias track, see Santa Anita on steroids 2 times over. It is surely speed favoring, which we should watch the races on Wednesday and Thursday of the week of the Breeders' Cup to see if they've done something to kind of even it out. Because usually the first 3 horses that break are usually where your winners come from. It is very speed biased. And I think everyone knows that, and I think the track maintenance and the management knows that, and they'll try to even this thing out. So we should pay attention to the track that Wednesday and Thursday leading into Future Star Friday and of course Saturday. If there's one knock that negative that Zandon has going into this race is that the track bias don't favor him because he's a mid-pack or back-pack closer. And that's not conducive across Santa Anita, by no means. However, if a speed duel happens and it melts down, don't be shocked if this here beautiful, beautiful horse by Upstart, trained by Chad Brown, who worked for my boy Bobby Franco, runs by him. He deserves a strong and long look for sure. I just made the point of why I think he's going to. None bigger than, he's no worse or any better than any of these coming in here, particularly the 3-year-olds, for sure. And he's going to be at an odds that's going to be greater of any of his 13 races where he's hit the board 12 times. He's never went to the gate less than 7-1. This horse would be 15-1 or better. And that is great value on a horse like that. There's your Speed King making a case that, hey, Zandon deserves a strong and long look in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. And if you're playing vertically, there's just no way you can leave him off of your exacta tries as superfecta. I know you'll agree with me on that. So take my points into consideration. We still yet have to analyze the race. We're not saying that he is our top pick. We're just asking, does he deserve a strong and long look? And are the public and every other handicapper looking the wrong way when this one is standing in front of them? This may be the coming out party for my boy, Zandon. I'm a big fan, and always have been, as well as Go Rock and Ride. Let's have a healthy, classy discussion for sure. Let's talk about it. My name is Wayne Bolden. I'm your Speed King. As I point to Zandon as a strong, strong contender in this year's Breeders' Cup Classic. Over there at the Great Race Place. Let's go, Zandon.